Hello fellow hunters, JBiz Hunts here with a follow-up video. You all really enjoyed the top 10 rarest animal countdown, so I figured why not flip it around. Today we're counting down the easiest rares to find in the hunter call the wild. This list breaks down the most common rare fur variations in the entire game, ranked by spawn rate. In other words, it's all about how likely a rare respawn will show up after you've harvested a specific species. Now, don't get me wrong, every animal on this list is considered rare, but they're not quite as elusive as you might think. And trust me, each one would still make an awesome addition to your trophy lodge. I know, because I've got a few of them in mine. Let's dive in. The most common rare fur type across all animal species in the game is the piebald variation. If you see piebald as the fur type, you probably just harvested a rare animal. The majority of piebalds in the game have a 1 in 500 spawn rate. There is some exceptions on this list coming up, but I'll set the record straight. Some of the piebald ducks are not rare and are considered a common fur type like mallard, cinnamon teal, and the harlequin ducks. There are some rare piebalds for other duck species, however. Now, the two runner-ups that come up in the honorable mention with a 1 in 375 spawn rate is with the golden-eye duck, having both the eclipse plumage type for males, which I have in my lodge right here, as well as a female-only rare called the dark plumage type. The other runner-up is a goose species called the magpie goose. I do not have a piebald of these guys, but I do, however, have a leucistic, which is much rarer at a 1 in 1,136 spawn rate. Now that we have the honorable mentions, let's begin the countdown. At number 10 on the list, this animal may surprise you with the crowned blue wildebeest. They are a lot more common than you actually think. For me, if this was a countdown of the coolest rares, I'd have these beauties near the top. The black fur with the golden mane and the nose, it's just a pretty cool feature. They have a spawn rate of only 1 in 375, like the runner-ups, but what gives this guy the tiebreaker is that it's only females that can be crowned, which lowers the amount of population that can have this fur type, which makes it just a little bit more rare in my opinion. A lot of people in the community think they are much more rare than they actually are, but honestly, I have quite a few in my lodge. I'm going to keep the surprises rolling and hit you with the Bengal tiger at number 9. With a 1 in 350 spawn rate, you have a chance to have one of those 16 tigers in Sundarpatan respawn as a pseudo-melanistic or a pseudo-melanistic white. The first rare tiger that I spawned was a pseudo-melanistic male that I put in this multi-mount with a leucistic Barasingha deer. I was lucky enough to take down a female pseudo-melanistic as well, proving that they're probably not as rare as we all think. What makes you think they are more rare than they actually are is that there is such a low population of tigers on Sundarpatan. It's just hard to grind for them, and like we do for deer, where you can like harvest 20 deer at a time and make it seem like they're less rare than they actually are. But for tigers, they're not that rare. When animals get a rework, they sometimes get new rare fur types, like the recent addition of piebald to the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. This same pattern was true for the number 8 species on this list, the black buck. When Sundarpatan was released, they received a remodel and a piebald as a new rare fur type. It's honestly one of the nicest piebalds in the entire game, and I want one for my lodge so bad. With 1 in 309 chance of spawning one of them, there may be some luck on my side if I want to try and grind for them. At lucky number 7, we head to Revontuli Coast and find the white rock ptarmigan. They are an upland bird species, and their only rare happens to be the white, which is what gives them the edge over the black buck because they share the same odds at a 1 in 309 spawn rate. I'm not a huge upland bird hunter, but maybe I should dust off the old 10 gauge and hit up Revontuli Coast. It should be easy to spot an all-white bird, shouldn't it? I actually have 2 of the number 6 animal on this list sitting in my lodge. One of the game's newest species, the northern pintail on Askey Ridge, has a piebald variation with a 1 in only 250 spawn rate. That's basically half the spawn rate of an average piebald in the game. and why they end up on this list, to be honest. I was shocked to have 2 of them in my lodge, but now I'm going to stop bragging about it since they are not as rare as I thought they once were. It could be worse. I could have a whole wall full of piebald mallards. At number 5 on the list is the second ptarmigan, this time the willow ptarmigan, and it's their white version as well. This one is less rare than the white rock ptarmigan, with only a 1 in 235 spawn rate. Their white variation looks like a mix between the bicolor and the molting, so it does blend in a bit more than their rock ptarmigan cousins, but now I really have to hit up Revontuli Coast and add some rare ptarmigan to my lodge since they are that easy. If you would have asked me what is the most common rare in the Hunter Call of the Wild, my answer would have been the pink feral pig or wild hog. My answer would be close, but it only comes in at number 4 on this list. I honestly have a whole wall of these guys and have lost count on how many I actually have in my lodge. That's because they have a 1 in 202 spawn rate. Basically, they are a bit more rare than a natural diamond respawn, which the community figures to be a 1 in 100 spawn rate for diamonds, without using herd management, that is. Besides not being that rare compared to other animals, I do find the pink fur variation really cool and one of my favorite rares in the game. Why do I suddenly have a craving for bacon all of a sudden? With the bronze medal coming in at number 3 on the list is the cousin to the most rare animal in the entire game, the stubble quail. Their cousin, the bobwhite quail, is the goat of all rares with their albino plumage, but the stubble quail's dark brown is on the opposite end of the entire spectrum, with only a 1 in 189 spawn rate, and if I'm being honest, I would not have even known that dark brown was a rare for them had I not made this video. Oops. Good thing, because when I was on Emerald Coast, I spotted some disturbed vegetation that said dark brown. So, I just took a guess at which one of those little birds looked darker than the rest and ended up with a sweet little rare bird for my lodge. Coming in with the runner-up spot in the silver medal position is the piebald green-winged teal. These guys barely beat out the stubble quail as they have a 1 in 188 spawn rate. That's only by 1. These little guys are pretty cute. You can spot these guys as they have a white head with green wings, which really stand out in the flock. You almost mistake them for like an albino until you see some dark color on their bodies. So, you see a green-winged teal without the signature green face, blast them and put them into your lodge. A rare is a rare in my book. Now, coming into the top spot in the easiest rare in the entire game, it was a bit of a surprise for me. I knew they were common rares and that they would end up on this list. I just didn't think they would be number 1. And that is the piebald American alligator. Comes in with a 1 in 101 spawn rate. I honestly think that the minimum requirement to be considered rare in the Hunter Call of the Wild is a 1 in 101. However, I will say this number 1 ranking comes with a bit of an asterisk. You see, you have a 1 in 101 chance of spawning a piebald alligator, but they actually have 5 different patterns. They all have the name piebald, so they only care about getting one, then they are easy to get. But if you're collecting the whole gang, you will have a tougher time as the change of spawn rate that comes with trying to get a specific one would multiply by 5, giving you a 1 in 505 chance of spawning the one that you want. I was lucky enough to spawn a few different patterns, as you can see here. I really like the camel looking piebald pattern, it's my favorite of them all. Just because these animals are more common on the rare side doesn't mean they're any less exciting to take down. Every one of them still makes for an awesome trophy in your lodge, and honestly, half the fun is just chasing them down and building out your collection. Let me know in the comments which one of these rares you've managed to add to your lodge, and which one you're still chasing. I know some of you probably have walls full of pink hogs, or a few extra piebald gators lying around. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more guides, rankings, and trophy lodge showcases. I've got plenty more Call of the Wild content on the way, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and good luck spotting all these rares. And as always, fellow hunters, happy hunting.